One of the most frustrating parts of brioche knitting is when you look back on your work and you discover that you have a misstitched that's fairly far down in your work, far enough that you don't want to unknit. The easiest way to fix that is to drop the stitch, and once you understand how the yarn works, that's not that difficult. So to get started, slip your stitches or knit up to the yarn over and the slipped stitch where your mistake is. Be sure to use point protectors or stoppers, because the last thing you want is for all of these other stitches to fall while you're dropping the first one. So drop the stitch that needs to be fixed and unravel both the main color and the secondary color until you get there. Be sure that you do this on the knitted stitch versus the purled stitch. It's just going to make it so much easier for you. Spread them apart so you can see your main colors and your secondary colors. And what you need to make sure of is to remember that you are picking up a slipped stitch, which will be your contrast color, and a working stitch, which is the color that your knit row is done in. So insert your crochet hook into the working stitch. Go underneath your contrast color without hooking it, and then hook the next main color that is up your row. Pull the main color under the contrast color and through the stitch, and you have fixed one stitch. And you do this all the way up, just being careful to make sure you're always going under the contrast color and then getting the main stitch, and that you are getting the next one in line, that you don't skip any. Okay. Contrast color, main color, and pull underneath both. Okay. And here I almost skipped. Contrast color, main color, and pull under both. Once we get up here near the top, it gets a little more difficult to see, but there is the contrast color, the main color, and we pull through both of those through the stitch. Contrast color, main color, and pull both of those through the stitch. And then we get up here, and it looks like we have one contrast color left over, but remember that you have a slipped stitch. So both of these stitches, the main color and the contrast color, you will place back on your needle. Take your left hand needle through the front of the stitch and the yarn over the contrast color, and you'll see that puts both stitches back on the needle the same way they're supposed to lie with the other stitches. That also removes your mistake, and at that point I'm just going to slip these stitches back onto my left hand needle, and I am ready to begin working again.